Hi, my name is Lisa Bazikis, and this is my project, a mechanism to decrease rotational falls in equestrian eventing. One of my greatest passions in life is horseback riding and the sport of eventing. Through this project, I wanted to look at how I could take my passion for horses and incorporate it in science and engineering. Through extensive research, I found that one of the most dangerous things in eventing is rotational falls. Rotational falls are when the horse and rider miss a distance at a solid fence and flip over the fence, causing severe injuries to the horse and rider. I wanted to decrease this risk and decrease injuries of rotational falls by creating a collapsible mechanism for solid cross-country fences. This is a continuation project from last year. So last year I started by creating a 1/3 scale model of my first design idea using store-bought products just to kind of get an idea of the mechanics and engineering behind what I wanted to do with my collapsible jump. After doing that, I decided to consult with a mechanical engineer that is local to the area by asking his advice and presenting my project to him to see how I could take this further. He helped me by giving me several ideas for what kind of mechanism or shock I could use for a 2-scale model, and he also helped me look at the different design prospects of my original prototype. Originally, I wanted to design my own shock and build it on my own, but I soon realized that that was a bit excessive and unreasonable when I could just look at the shocks and mechanisms on the market that could fit the criteria of my design perfectly. I used the engineer as a resource to help me look at the functions and different types of shocks on the market to see which one would fit my design and engineering goal. So after I researched several types of shocks and their functions, I narrowed it down to a spring coil and a gas-charged shock. Between those two, I decided that the spring coil would fit my criteria for my design the best because it had the ability to release close to immediately, which I wanted because if the horse were to fall on the jump, I want the jump to give way so that the horse has the best opportunity to stumble or fall at a decreased angle, which would decrease their risk of injuries. It was also the easiest type of mechanism to reset since horses are going 2 minutes apart on course. The next horse is coming rapidly even if a horse before them falls. So I want them to be able to get out of the way and reset the jump as fast as possible so it doesn't hold or risk the next rider having any complications of that jump. The spring coil also had a strong aspect to hold the minimal forces. If the forces were to just brush upon the jump, it would not fall. It would stay strong and in its normal resting position. After choosing this mechanism and looking at the various types of forces and kind of looking at a range of forces that each different type of horse on a preliminary level course would produce, I noticed that the placement of my original design where my mechanism was not as effective as I thought it would be or it could be. So through that, I decided to change it from the back and the center where if at its original position, it would hold maximum force and it would take the strongest and biggest horse to collapse it. So I moved it to the front and on both sides so that it would take the minimum force of the smallest and weakest horse to collapse it, so that the smallest and weakest horse doesn't have trouble, if it were to have a rotational fall at this jump, it wouldn't have trouble releasing or activating the jump. I realized through that that I moved it to the front because of those reasons, and I wanted it to also be easier to reset, and at the front it gives an easier reset there too. Overall, I thought that my two big improvements from my prototype last year to this year helped me move towards my improvement and engineering goal in the long run, and hopefully next year I can continue this project again and get to the testing of a real prototype. Thank you.